Hello, and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Tuesday the 27th, and right now I am just flying over here just to update my map. Nothing special. As you can see, I moved some of my stuff temporarily to this little walkway, but ultimately this is where I'm going to launch my rockets from for whatever amount of rockets I do launch left. Obviously still have tier 8 and the mothership left, but yeah, for the moment, though, to get into what I actually got done today. Today was kind of weird. It was one of those days where I didn't have a lot of time, but I feel like I did a lot, but I don't feel like I accomplished anything. Is that all kind of tracks? So to start off with, I pretty much did continue right where I left off yesterday and set up the space elevator. It's all formed and everything, as you can see. If it wasn't formed, this portion of it, like this portion of it's not real. Like you just fly through it, everything up. I do think it's cool, and I kind of like how it's kind of lands here. I think it looks nifty. Works as like the little bottom part of the peninsula, or I guess continent, or I don't really know what you call it. But so yeah, I got this set up. Now that being said, kind of like everything else, it's a little more complicated than just setting it up. In this case, it is not technically functional right now. I haven't like set anything up for it. I did, however, start to set up an area for it. Sort of hop in this manhole. We can hop down here, and now there's not much going on. I ended up borrowing the UV energy hatch that goes here. I have like set up a dynamo hatch on the main battery to give this guy power yet anyways. But so I was doing some reading after I set it up. I had a lot of work meetings today, so I kind of snuck in some reading while I was listening to people go on and on and on about silly things. But this guy, basically, to get running, we need modules, which I don't have crafted. We need power, which is down there, just not fully set up. And then the final thing is we do actually need to finally start using the quantum computer for more than a few seconds at a time, which is currently how I use the one that's up here for the research station. So my plan is I basically set up this room down here. It's definitely overkill in size, but I hate when things feel like really cramped. I might reduce the size after I get everything set up and see what it finally looks like down here. But basically I'll have power, set the quantum computer over here, run the cables up, power cables up, and then the A2 network up through this little channel here. And then that should get this guy functioning. Obviously, we are in the overworld still, so I had to put some protection on. I still haven't quite figured out if I need to protect the controller, but ultimately the battery is going to be over here. So, I'll think of a better block color. I'll probably swap these to at least blue cobblestone. Not really important, but just did set those up so I didn't actually blow up anything later. Also, I like its random selection of stuff it puts in here. It's kind of weird, too, that it can accept a dynamo hatch. Wonder why that is. And also funny to me that this big guy still needs a muffler. But anyways, hey, look at that, raining again. So yeah, that's this guy for now. Work in progress. Once I started looking into the modules and like kind of looking at some of the stuff I would actually want to do, I figured I should refocus my efforts on to going into UHV, at least getting the energy hatch and the UHV components. That way I can craft stuff at UEV, because there are a few components. Looking like for the things I would actually want to install, I need UEV power, so, or at least the ability to overclock to UEV. Like, for example, to get like cosmic neutronium off of this thing instead of having to drop meteors over and over again. I also didn't realize that these guys are a tiered component, so got these set up, but I think realistically looking at the stuff, let's see. Let's say unknown liquid, for example. I don't currently use it, but I know I will need it relatively soon. Tier 8 planet, Tier 8 liquid needs... Where is it? Like even for a space pumping module Mark 1, if we look on here, it says where is it? The final line before the dash needs at least the motor Mark II to work. So like these very quickly will get replaced, but that's all right. Like I said, resources are essentially infinite once you start gathering them, so not too big a deal to waste it just to get it set up, at least for the first time. So because I decided to pause on this, I figured I should probably do something about my increasing bottleneck of the regular assembly line, stuff being spread out, and stuff like that. So the next building I started to set up for mass fabrication was over here. So I already have one building with a bunch of these guys set up, but they're for the components for circuits exclusively. These guys, there's only these ones set up because that's all I was able to get done before I left work. Was I plan on setting up 24, one for each circuit, so I can move everything over here. And I even pre-prep because I knew I would not have enough channels since they're going to have crafting patterns. They do need to be on the main network. I knew I'd have 24 at least, and then I do want more for like any item where I know I'm crafting a bunch and it's causing a bottleneck in the network. I'm going to pull out and give its own advanced assembly machine. So like an easy example will be the superconductor wires and stuff like that. Although the superconductor wires, because I want even more parallel in how much I craft them, I might even drop a precise assembler in here because you can't overclock them, but they technically get better parallels. But I think for most items, these things will suit me better and take up less room. So it'll just be a case-by-case basis. I might even just do a second building that's just precise assemblers, or maybe I'll do an extra floor in this guy just to keep all the assemblers in the same spot. We'll see. I'm trying not to do too many floors anymore because it does, especially on the internet connection between my home and work, create some like lag being in those towers. Which there is one more passive process I want to put in this tower, and then I think the top 4 floors are just going to be left abandoned, like something fake, like some faux lights or something for cosmetics. But I do want to put the Kevlar line up here, which that's going to be just kind of something I do at random. But Kevlar we can use to drastically increase the number of circuit boards that I produce instead of using plastic. So I do want to get on that sooner than later, as well as the other big multi-block that I'm missing from UV that I kind of want to get on to also increase my throughput of circuit boards is this Nano Forge, which this thing's pretty cool looking too. And I think I have a place at least for the tier 1 that I'm going to set it up, because like each tier, yeah, I think I know where I'm going to set this up. And then the tier 4 just appears to be its own thing. But anyways, that's future stuff. So I'm getting all these set up right now. That way too, I can also overclock anything that I need to without like screwing around with circuit numbers later to get to UHV and UEV, all that stuff. But with this as well, I haven't done anything down there, but I do plan on throwing more. I'll hop down here to show it instead of just talking to the air. There are a couple improvements I want to make down here. First, these are 4 regular assembly lines doing the same recipe. All these guys are making are my neural processing unit. This was before I figured out how the advanced assembly lines worked. So I'm going to change this one to an advanced assembly line and then utilize this space for other stuff instead of having 4 for this. Because, I mean, even just one advanced assembly line, this will have 7 parallels versus the 4 parallels over here. Same with down here, the wetware circuit. So I have 6 currently for wetware, but if I were to turn it into advanced assembly line, it would be, it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parallels. So that'll get swapped to an advanced assembly line here relatively shortly because, I mean, I have circuits on passive, so they're not really a bottleneck right now, but yeah. And then the other assembly lines I'll need to start dropping down are my UHV components, which I do not have crafted or researched even yet. I looked, say, like the motor, just for example. I didn't realize I'm going to have to run them through the research station. So I did get everything crafted. So the only thing I'm missing over here is UV motor, a motor, piston. Yeah, this is the last one I was waiting on. So I'm going to run these through, get my patterns for these. And then one of the immediate things I'll do here tomorrow or tonight even will be set up all these UHV components so I can get rolling. I don't think it'll take very long to get to the UHV energy hatch, if I'm understanding everything correctly. Yeah, it should be this, and like, as soon as I get those set up, the superconductor wire, because we just need UHV power, some bedrockium we've got plenty of, and then components. Let's see, the base. What am I doing? 1x superconductor UHV wire. So this will be this recipe, superconductor base, run through here. Sorry, I haven't looked to see what I need. Draconium, we're fine on. Cosmic neutronium, we're fine on. Tritanium, I'm not as sure about. And americanium, we're fine on. Let's see. Tritanium. R. Tritanium. Okay. I'll need to... okay. I'm going to need to like set up a bit of a passive for this because maybe I'll just passive the UHV wire instead right off the bat, kind of like I do have the LUV wire passive, just so I'm not waiting on it for energy hatches. But if we go here to the assembler, actually I assume it'll be assembly line recipe, superconductor, UHV energy hatch. Oh, whatever, dynamo works. 360, these guys are fine. UHV, one ohm. I think I have those set up. High voltage. Meg, fine. Tritanium, fine. Samara. So I think looking at this too, I might need to get myself some tritanium rolling. Let me craft like 1 million of this stuff right now. Oh, I use a lot of radon. Is there a better recipe? Oh, geez. Molten tritanium. What's plasma tritanium made of? Okay, nope. Gotta get through molten. Ooh, geez. Titanium, uranium. Oh, I don't think I'm using uranium. Oh, okay, here it is. Uranium's is where the radon's coming from. Titanium is okay. So I am also going to need to, looking at this, I am probably going to need to beef up my radon production because 1 million buckets of this stuff into ingot form is really not that much. I mean, you'd have to divide that by 144, which, where is my calculator at? Calculator. I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just kind of curious. 1 million divided by 144. It's only 7,000 ingots, which is not going to get me very far from the looks of it. It looks like we use quite a bit of it in random spots. So I will need to beef up my radon. That should just be a matter of throwing down a mega LCR, but I'm glad I know to do that now. I might do that as just like a thing to get ahead of it because currently my radon is made right here at EV power. I don't even know if it's running right now. It is not. Why? Why is this not running? Plutonium. I'm amazed this has not been an issue. And then this is the output bus. So I want to get another thing plutonium here. So this is always running. I don't know I'm very curious where that would have gone, but okay. So that's at least making radon right now again, but we'll get that on a mega LCR and get as much plutonium into the loop, so if that's not an issue. The last thing I want to show off real quick, besides rambling about things that I'm currently working on, is just a real minor thing, but just fly out to the desert real quick, just because I did improve my meteor ritual slightly in a couple different ways. So first of all, for my own sanity, or like keeping me from being lazy about it in the future, I did move this guy slightly off to the side and threw warded glass down here. So it should just be I need to power cycle this every time I do a meteor instead of dropping it down every time. You know, it should not be raining right here. This is a hot desert with no precipitation. Just in case, though. I'm not gonna do that. It shouldn't. But so there's that, and then the other thing I did is I added this stuff here, this crystal jar. We can see I've got, I don't know why it's not showing up right now, but if we look at it, oh, here it is. If we look at the bottom, it's got this Orbitus Terra, I believe. I don't know why it's not, yeah, Orbitus Terrae. This increases the size of the meteor by 2, the radius of it by 2. So that actually, because it's increasing the radius, that is actually quite a decent amount of more ore per, like, meteor drop. And then, yeah, that's about it. Nothing fancy. I decided not to automate this yet because one bell jar of this gets me 16 uses. However, if I keep using the meteor ritual after going through 16 uses of this, I will forgot I do not have a monster protection thing out here. That threw me off. But yeah, if I go through 16 uses of the meteor without doing it, then I'll automate doing that. But currently I don't have the meteor ritual itself automated anyway, so not overly worried about it, but just food for that, and just wanted to show that off real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to get back to messing around with setting up a bunch of different types of assemblers, and I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with more actual progress, and maybe be officially in UHV. We'll see. Hello, Enderman. Have a good night.